Hey guys, for this week's lesson, you are going to expand upon the character that you created last week. And if you didn't create the character, that's fine. You can create a character and participate this week. Practicing trying to look in the lens so it looks like I'm looking at you guys. It's so hard when you're doing these kinds of things like the Google chats not to look at yourself in the camera. Looking at you guys in the lens. You specifically. So some of you guys have done the extra credit assignments, and that's been a good grade boost for you guys. I wouldn't be surprised with only 6 or so weeks left of the school year that those of you who choose to do these extra credit assignments will probably end up with an A at the end of the semester. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So if you didn't do it last week, we welcome you to join us this week and participate. Here's what the thing is going to look like. I took my guy Larry, my character Larry from last week. He's my stereotype of a teenager. Sorry guys, I hope I don't offend anybody. And I put him into a comic strip here. So Larry's saying he's in quarantine. So we're going to try to shed some humor on this whole quarantine situation because, let's face it, the whole thing kind of sucks. So laughter is the best medicine. So Larry here is called Teepee Troubles. Larry says, "Mom, we've played Monopoly like 5 times now and I'm bored." "Why don't you do something constructive like Legos, honey?" "Legos are for kids. Those people in the Lego Masters show aren't kids." "Yeah, okay." "I'm sorry, honey, I've looked everywhere and I can't find your Legos." "That's all right. I found something else to build with." "Oh my, your father's in the bathroom." Okay, so see what you guys can come up with. Try to reflect on the changes that have happened in your life lately in the past few weeks, and make a joke about it. Things are different these days. I got a couple tips here. I took some notes while I was drawing this myself, and let's see. So remember, the grades, like if you do it, you get the 4. Hopefully that frees you guys up a little bit to be creative and just have fun with it. Sometimes I feel like when we have a grade, we either give up because it's too hard, or sometimes we just try to do the bare minimum to earn a certain grade. But it's just like, do it, and you got all this time. Just try to explore it and have fun with it. See if you can, hold yourself accountable to make it something of quality. Let's see. I heard a great quote when I was watching YouTube that I included in this lesson. There's a girl who's much better than me at doing comics, and I included a little video that she did. But those ads, those annoying ads that pop up before YouTube plays, I paid for YouTube Premium this month. I shouldn't be getting the ads. That's weird. Anyway, it's a great ad about this woman who does a writing master class, and she sucked me in. I watched the whole 2-minute ad just because of this quote at the beginning of the ad. She said, "Constant distraction is the enemy of creativity." No, not the enemy, the destroyer of creativity. So while you're doing this, I'm going to challenge you to just set your phone in a different room completely, because I think that's probably the most common constant distraction that we have. But she even goes on to, I kind of looked her up after. I was like, who's this woman? She's kind of wise. So I looked her up, and she was talking about like your enemy could have the sweetest face. Like, it could be your dog or cat, or your little brother, or your kids who you love. But those things that keep coming up, they destroy creativity. And she was talking about writing, but I think it applies equally well to something like practice like visual arts too. So if you have to have music, which I like to have music while I work, just put the music on, don't touch it, and let it play in a different room so you're not constantly distracted like by all the fun things that are to do, or your friends send you a message about how bored they are during this quarantine. Apologize for the shaky camera work here. I'm literally just holding my computer up and showing you kind of my workspace here. I've got this drawing table in the garage, and I'm really kind of sensitive to the light. So I brought this light out into the garage just to set on my table because I don't like it when it's like too bright of lights, like the fluorescent lights I've got up in the ceiling here. And I even brought like an extension cord to set that up. It helps me focus in if I just kind of have a warmer light that's just illuminating my workspace. The other tip I want to share with you is if you put a piece of paper underneath what you're working on, not only can you doodle and practice things on there like the color and sketches of your character's expressions, but when you go to the bank, there's always this like kind of soft mat underneath as a writing surface for signing your deposit slips and stuff like that. It's just nicer to draw on something other than like a hard table, especially if it has any texture to it. So a couple other materials tips I'm going to give you. Color-wise, I did kind of a process. So pencil, ink, then color. So color-wise, all I use is standard issue Crayola watercolor paints. If you don't have those, that's fine. Just use whatever you have on hand. I'm trying to use things that you guys would have, even though I do have quite a few art supplies myself. I'm trying to keep it simple so that you guys can participate. For the ink, I just used a sort of a standard fine tip Sharpie. It looks like that. If you don't have one of those, black ballpoint pen would probably suffice. Another tip I'll give you about the inking process: once you ink, you can just go over it and erase all of the old pencil lines, and that really cleans up the thing. So, trying to think if there's anything else I missed. Tip-wise, I'm going to let you in on a little-known secret about me. I was actually the cartoonist for my high school newspaper. In 10th grade, I went to a high school in Minnesota that had over 2,000 kids, and I applied for the cartoonist job for the paper, and I got it. And I was obviously interested in drawing. Back then I was drawing a lot, but this was actually quite difficult for me because I haven't done a whole lot of that cartoon style drawing since about then. So I found this very challenging, especially kind of planning out the space, making the words fit the thought bubbles. I drew little lines underneath the text so I could write straight and trying to write cleanly, especially someone like me who has bad handwriting, as you guys might know. I really had to put some effort into trying to write legibly, so this wasn't an easy thing, and expect it would take a couple hours for you, which is the amount of work that they're asking us to give you guys each week. So this one will take some time, but if you do it, you will be rewarded handsomely with some quality extra credit to help you earn that A. If you have any questions, guys, shoot me an email. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Take care, have fun. Can't wait to see some cartoons.